Pops in. This is not my regular day. I know, guys. We're gonna talk about that in this live. But hopefully somebody will pop in. Oh, guys. Anybody gonna pop in? I know, it's like a random time of day. Hopefully somebody will pop in. Well, I guess it's not a random time of day. It's the normal time that I usually do lives, which is 8 o'clock, but it's a random day. What is today? Tuesday? But we need to talk about our live situation, what we're going to be doing for lives. Hey, Harmon Homestead. It is not popping up that anybody is here. So, if I don't recognize that somebody's here, that's why it's not popping up. How you doing, girly? I tell you what, guys. It has been a beautiful last couple days. Hey, Randy. How are you? It has been a beautiful last couple days. But today it was rainy. Although, looks like a bunch of people's on here now. It was not showing any of you all just a second ago. It has been rainy today. But we spent yesterday, hey Eric, we spent yesterday working in the garden and doing gardening things. We have come upon a hiccup though. Unfortunately, I transplanted some of the plants that needed transplanted out of our seed tray things. And our cucumbers are in a bad way. And so I had to throw quite a bit of the cucumbers out from the seed trays. And then I transferred them over to bigger size pots, and they're just not looking good. The summer squash is not looking well either. So that's an unfortunate series of events. So we'll just have to see. I don't know. I don't think we didn't use all of both types of cucumbers, although we were wanting to succession plant. I don't know if we're going to be able to do that unless we buy starts. So, I don't know, guys. That's unfortunate, but that's really the only thing that's kind of went awry with the seeds. So we can't be, complaining too much. Our peppers have not come up, although, guys, it's been years since I have started plants from seeds. We have saved seeds. But usually I just direct plant. In years past, I have done where we put them in seed trays and started them. But a lot of times we just support our local greenhouses. I don't know about everybody else, but we actually have some wonderful locally owned, family owned greenhouses. And we just choose to support them because it's easier on us. Me and Andy were talking about it the other day. It's getting ready to be a very busy season for us. Same thing happened to us. We backed up on our transplants and are going to plant in the late May after our spring garden is done. Yeah, I don't know, but I don't know. But we're just gonna ride with it. Whatever happens is, what's meant to be, and we'll do, the best we can with what we can. We do plan on, though, getting our taters in the ground. This week, Lord willing, if the rain will hold off. It is showing rain. And so we'll just have to see. Now, we're going to do something, in years past, we had a mix of last year cutting the eyes off of potatoes and letting them scab over and then just doing fresh cuts. If anybody on the live knows why they recommend, cutting them and letting them scab over, let me know. I don't know if it's a wives' tale or what it is. I'm going to guess it prevents them from rotting, but I really don't know, honestly. And so we had a mix of both last year. We have discussed that we're going to put the potatoes in the same spot this year, but everything else besides the potatoes and the peppers and tomatoes are pretty much up in the air where they're going to be in the garden. I know a lot of people like map their garden out and plant it. But my husband, bless his heart, he likes to ride by the seat of his pants. And, you know, I just tag along because I've talked about it before. I've talked about it on lives before. It's funny because we're just talking about garden stuff, but I trust my husband with my life. Like, I don't know, like, I trust him. And so whatever his judgment is, you know, just what I go with. I don't know why I'm like that, but I am. And so he rides by the seat of his pants. He does not plan. He's not a planner. I'll tell you what, though. Something about being married to somebody that isn't a planner when you're a planner. I'm a planner, but a procrastinator. And so I will plan everything out and then I will do it way past when I need to do it. I talked to you all about raising or starting wanting to do loofah gourds this year. Guys, I put it off so long, like it would be even too late to start it now. I had planned most of the winter. Yeah, I'm going to do loofah gourds. I'm going to do loofah gourds. I want to do loofah gourds. And guess what, guys? I didn't even get the seed. So I make plans and then, you know, just procrastinate. My mom gets on to me all the time. She'll call me and say, did you do such and such? And I'll be like, no, I ain't done it yet. And she'll be like, well, you need to get on it. And here I am, you know, like almost a 30-year-old adult. And my mama calls me to tell me to get stuff done. But I know a lot of people plan the garden out, and I love that for you. I love that for the people that plan the garden out. That is amazing. But like I said, we just ride by the seat of our pants kind of people around here. I'm a planner, but I don't actually follow through with my plans. And my husband is not a planner at all. He's not a planner at all. Everything is just like this, spontaneous, just, you know, or most things are spontaneous and just, you know, whatever comes up in his head, that's what it's going to be. And so I know at least that the potatoes are going to be in the same spot that they were last year, Lord's willing, and everything works out. And most likely the tomatoes and the peppers are going to be where they are at. I've got a video coming up, and I worked on seed transplants, and my wonderful husband worked on the garden yesterday. So hopefully you all will see it in the video. But he went ahead and fertilized. He went ahead and tilled it again. He worked on some trellises for the green beans. And I don't know if I said in a video or talked about it in a live. I know that we had discussed it. Me and my mother-in-law had discussed doing trellises like this. And I know a lot of people do that. So I hope y'all know what I'm talking about, where you like one end of the trellis here and the other end of the trellis here, and it's like a rainbow. And I got to thinking about it, and I got talking to my husband about it. And I didn't tell him what I thought about it. I just asked him what he thought about it. And once he told me, we just got to talking. And although doing trellises, you know, like this are maybe a little bit easier to you know, grow or you like pick your fruit. And it looks prettier. It's just not... It's not going to give us the amount we need. I know it looks beautiful, guys, and I'm all about a beautiful garden. But doing trellises like this instead of long ways like we have them, you take we use the hog panels or cattle panels or whatever you want to call them, and they're 16 foot. So if you're planting, you know, we're going to put cucumbers and green beans on them, pole beans on them. If you're planting, if you're growing them like this, that's 16 foot of, you know, plants that you can plant. But if you're growing it like this, yes, it might get longer, but you're not going to be able to put as much seeds out. You're not going to be able to grow as much individual plants as you would if you go this way. And so we just decided that we're going to do it the non-pretty way and go ahead and just do, you know, the 16-foot panels straight way like we had them before. That's funny, Frank. You know what? It didn't kill you. So You're still here to tell us about it. That's all right. That's all right, buddy. I'm all about, just like nature's, what nature produces, just eating it. So, was lettuce or a weed? But I don't know, buddy. I don't know. It sounds all right by me, though. It sounds all right by me. It didn't kill you. Probably made you stronger, anyways. All them weeds ain't bad. That's funny. That's really funny. Lettuce or a weed? Oh, goodness. I tell you what.
Hi, y'all.
There's Tater Bug. The garden, I talk about it all the time, and I say it in videos all the time, but the garden is my happy place. And I love being out there. I love doing all of those things. I love working in the garden. And, some things don't work. Some things are a letdown. Some things don't pull through. Some, vegetables and plants just don't do very well. And that is okay. And listen, anybody that claims to be a gardener, anybody that claims to grow their food, they're lying if they say they don't have a bad year with something. Every year you're going to grow something, and it's going to be you might have a really, really good crop, and then the next year it might be horrible. Or you'll have a really, really good, crop of this, but you'll have a really bad crop of this, or whatever it is. Do you ever grow flowers just to look at? We are, for the first time this year, so yes, I grow flowers just to look at. Absolutely. Yeah, our front garden. What do we have in our front garden? We've got Easter lilies, gladiolas, 4 o'clocks, tiger lilies, which I do think that you can eat tiger lilies. We have hostas, which I'm pretty sure you can eat hostas as well, but we do not. We have old rose bushes. We have some very old rose bushes, which you can use rose bushes for different things. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I save the rose petals. Sometimes I don't. But we absolutely do grow flowers just to look at. That's one thing about me and my husband is we're gardeners. Like, that's what we are. We're gardeners at heart. We both love to garden. Andy, it's funny because all of the men, I shouldn't say all the men, but most of the men on Andy's side of the family love flowers. They love plants. They love growing a garden. They love being out in the garden. Andy has, I don't know if you've ever noticed in our videos at the farm, there's a huge mimosa tree. My husband started that from seed years ago. He's a gardener. He just loves it. And yes, we do grow flowers just to look at. Actually, I'm trying to think. I don't know if you can eat zinnias or use zinnias for anything, but if you look back in our garden videos with our vegetable garden, we had zinnias growing in the garden. We also had sunflowers. We don't save the seed out of the sunflowers except to reseed or replant the next year. We just look at them. And so you can grow food to look at or plants to look at, and you can grow food to eat. And we do both. We both just love flowers and plants and everything that goes with it. Yeah, absolutely. You're right, Frank. A lot of plants. I didn't know until the other day because I was looking at, I was thinking of the things that are in our flower beds that we actually don't use besides just to look at. And we had transplanted years ago, early on in our marriage. We have tiger lilies out here that just kind of, well, we have a big, large, I think it's an oak tree in our flower beds out in front of the house. It's huge. And around it, we planted tiger lilies that we had got. Actually, Andy transplanted them early on in our marriage, that we got off the side of the road. I don't know about you all, but in Kentucky, in our region, in our area, at least in our area, tiger lilies grow pretty thick on the sides of roads in our area. And so we decided that we were just going to take them off the side of the road and we were going to transplant them. Well, they have taken over a good part of the garden. They're absolutely beautiful. And I was looking to see if we could actually use them for anything specifically. And they, in China or in one of those countries and somewhere in Asia, they use tiger lily bulbs and eat them like you would a potato. And so, you know, I don't know if they have medicinal uses, but they do use them for that. Something else, we were talking about plants that we grow just to be pretty. We grow a double angel trumpet. You all have to look them up because they're absolutely beautiful, but they're very poisonous, or yeah, I guess they're poisonous. You do not want to eat them or consume them in any way, because they will, you know, I guess they'll, you know, unalive you, but they're poisonous. But we grow them. My husband got the seed. He works in construction, and he was doing a job, and he started bragging about this lady's beautiful flowers. They are absolutely gorgeous, so I recommend you all looking them up. And she brought him out some seed. And so we have, it's called a double angel trumpet. It's very beautiful, very beautiful. It's a trumpet, like you would think, a trumpet shaped flower, and it's double. And so it has a purple and a white flower. It's like, I'm trying to think if the white is inside the purple. I believe the white is inside the purple. But they're absolutely gorgeous. I've always been so pressured to grow food to eat. I've never really gave flowers the space in my garden, but I will this year. Yeah, do it, girlfriend. Totally. Absolutely. Yes. Grow something that it takes, I don't know, like you can get burned out on doing it if you're doing it just for one certain reason. And so, yeah, just grow stuff to look at. Absolutely. Do that. I highly recommend that. That's how we got started. When I was a teenager, I worked in a greenhouse. When I was in high school, I did it for 2 years. It was actually through an FFA program that we sold and produced plants out of the greenhouse. And we didn't sell or produce like fruits and vegetables. We grew ferns and rose bushes and poinsettias for Christmas time and things like that. We had a greenhouse. And so that's where I started. That's where I learned. My husband, his grandfather raised tobacco. They raised a garden to eat out of. That's another thing. My parents didn't raise a garden to eat out of. My grandmother did. My grandparents did. But my mother and my dad did not. But they raised flowers. They raised bushes and flowers and plants and stuff like that. And so that's, you know, I was more raised for the flowers and the trees and the plants. And then Andy was raised on all of it. They planted trees and tobacco fields and gardens and things like that. So when we got married, we worked on the flower garden. You know, that was what we did. That was our project that we worked on early in our marriage, probably the first year that we were married. The second year, going into the second summer that we were married, we planted a garden with a fairly new baby. She wasn't talking, she was walking and kind of jibber jabbering when we first planted our first vegetable garden here at this house. And then we started raising food, but the flower beds definitely have a big place in our heart. And we definitely love looking at the flowers. I love the beauty of the flowers. even so much that I was talking about, growing in a greenhouse. I wanted to be a florist. That was my dream. When I came out of high school, I went to college for business management to start my own floral shop. Obviously, that didn't happen. I did venture into other businesses after that, but flowers have a big, big place in my heart. I love to grow them. I love looking at them. I love cutting bouquets. I love giving people bouquets. And so, and Andy was always like that as well. The lilies in our area are the first sign of spring, and what we call naked ladies is the first sign of winter. Yep, naked ladies. There's a lady that raises naked ladies, or has like a little flower bed of naked ladies down the road, and I think that they're absolutely beautiful. If I had room, I don't have room, guys, but if I had room, I would grow naked ladies in my garden, but unfortunately I don't have room. But I don't know. But yeah, you don't need my what do you say? You don't need me to condone you raising a flower garden, Harmon Homestead, but I totally do. I totally do. I say go, girl. I say go, girl. And grow things that are just, like just frivolous. I couldn't get it out. Just things that you think are pretty. I love sunflowers. I love growing sunflowers. But we don't do anything with the sunflowers. We leave them out. Let the birds eat them, and the squirrels or whatever wants to eat the sunflower seeds, we let them eat them. And we try to save some seed back for ourselves so that we can replant them the next year. But yeah, I love flowers. I love flowers. And we usually do leave a lot. I might cut a bouquet, 1 or 2 bouquets, throughout the summer. But the rest I leave for the birds. And it's fun. It's fun to watch them. It's fun to watch the bees. And you know what, Harmon Homestead, you're going to notice such a big difference probably in your garden this year. If you're planting flowers and they come up, the bees and the butterflies, you're going to notice a big difference in your actual vegetable garden, because of the pollinators that are coming by, and hitting up your garden. We grow, what did I say, zinnias last year in the vegetable garden, and the butterflies and the bees were just all around all the time. And it was beautiful. I love just being out in the garden, but it's a lot cooler and a lot more, it makes it even more prettier to have the flowers out there. And what makes it even more pretty is having the bees and the butterflies out there that you can just sit and watch. It just gives you more of a reason to be out there. If you need a reason to be out in the garden, that's more of a reason to be out in the garden. If you need an excuse, if you need to tell, it's like somebody's inviting you to something, you say, well, I gotta be out in the garden. And there's your excuse right there to go out there and watch the butterflies and the bees. Just all over the place. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. For those of you, I don't know if any of you were watching my live the other day. What day was that, guys? I don't know. I hopefully am going to be putting out a video soon, but were any of you on here when I was talking about our coyote experience? Leave a comment so I know if nobody that was on here was watching the live about the coyote, then I'm going to be talking in vain. So somebody comment if you're watching that video. But just to touch on it a little bit, if you were not watching the video, if you were not on the live with us, we had, okay, all right, so I'm going to start from the beginning then. We had a coyote attack. And not the kind that you're thinking, but I'll go ahead and talk through the story. Well, long story short, I let my mother-in-law's house dog out the other day. And I was walking down the steps And Andy was in the vehicle. Lakin was heading to the vehicle, and I was walking towards the vehicle, but I wasn't there. I was a good distance behind everybody, hands full of stuff. You know how moms do. And I was walking towards the vehicle, and when I opened up the front door, Queenie went out. Queenie is my mother-in-law's house dog. She's a yard dog. You all have probably seen her in videos. She's a little fat black dog in the background. Well, Queenie is fierce. Queenie will fight anybody. I don't believe she is scared of anything. I've never seen her back down from anybody or anything. And so I let her out, and my mother-in-law had just dumped scraps out in the area where she was running towards. And I couldn't see, guys. So we're out in the boonies out there, and pretty much the only light there is like a floodlight. There might be two, but I only think one is working. And for whatever reason, I don't think that it was working. And if it was, it's way down at the end of the farm. So it wasn't any use in this situation. So I let Queenie out, and she runs directly towards the area where my mother-in-law dumped scraps. And I thought, well, she's just going out there to scrap. She went out there with them, I think, and so she knows where they're at. Or she's seen my mother-in-law, go out. You know how dogs are. They watch. And seen her go out with the bowl or whatever. So she runs directly towards that area. And when she ran out that way, I thought, oh, well, she's just going to get the scraps. Well, not... I went from the top of the steps to the bottom of the steps, which is like 5-6 steps, maybe somewhere in there. And I heard her screaming. And if you've ever heard y'all know probably what I'm talking about. When a dog gets hurt, they kind of let out a yelp or a squeal. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Well, she started screaming like I've never heard her scream. And I thought, oh no, we have got a problem. And my first thought was went to the scraps. We have a lot of dogs that run in the area. We, it's just the country. And in the country, there's dogs everywhere. There's dogs. And so I thought one of the dogs in the area just went out there to get the scraps, and she had gotten a fight with the dog. And then I even thought cat too, because we have stray cats in the area, but it was kind of, I don't know, she can fight a cat. And so anyways, I heard her screaming. And well, when she started screaming, Andy was in the vehicle, and I was screaming at him because all I had was my phone for a flashlight. And this phone is not very bright when it comes to a flashlight. And he carries the headlamps in the truck. And a flashlight. He has all the things, he's a man. And so he had that stuff in the vehicle. And so I started screaming for him because I could not see what it was. I could not see what was going on. And I was walking towards, you gotta shake, I don't know why I'm shaking my phone. I'm shaking my phone because you gotta shake it to turn on the flashlight. Anyways, so I shook my phone, turned on the flashlight, and started walking towards where she was screaming. Well, by the time I got to a big yellow bush in the yard, it was not very far from the house, she came back. But I heard her stop screaming, and I got scared. I thought, oh no, she is a goner. And it scared me for a minute. Well, I got to that bush, and she came back, and she wouldn't let me really touch her. She ran up to me, and I said, are you okay? Are you okay? And she was just kind of hunkered down and, scared. Well, I started walking towards where the screaming was, and I was shining my light, but it's not very bright, and I couldn't see anything. I couldn't see eyes. I couldn't see, a shadow. I couldn't see a body. I couldn't see anything. Well, by that time, I got to the bush. Andy was running behind me, and he had the bigger light, and he started shining through, and he couldn't see anything either. And he probably spent 15-20 minutes searching, trying to figure out where it was at. What it was coming from, what animal was this. We have foxes, coyotes, possums, coons, stray dogs, cats. We even have bears in the area, bobcats, things like that. And so it really could have been any of those things that got her at this point. And so I go in the house, and I'm checking her over. I don't see anything going on, except she has a really big wet spot on her neck right here. Also, on her ears, she has floppy ears that are about this long. She has a hole it went through the hole. It looks like if you took a paper hole punch and went through her ear, and it was all the way through. And when I seen that, I knew it wasn't a cat, or at least a stray cat. It could have maybe been a bobcat. But they usually, they're elusive. If you know anything about a bobcat, I know we have them, but they're elusive. Like, you very rarely see one, and usually if you see it, it's like dead on the side of the road or something. And so we knew it wasn't a cat. We knew it wasn't a stray cat, and so our thought was, is it a dog? Did she get in a fight with the dog over the scraps? Well, then we got to looking, and the scraps were poured where Queenie couldn't get. And so then I got to thinking, well, did she know that there was a coyote? Like, when I opened up the door, did she smell a coyote? And I'm thinking she did. I'm thinking that she smelt the coyote. Here's the thing, guys. We have a Great Pyrenees in the area. It's our neighbors behind us. And then, of course, we have Koa. And for whatever reason, Koa did not bark. The other dogs did not bark when she squealed. I don't know what happened. Like, I don't know why they didn't know that there was a coyote in the area. Okay, fast forward, next day, guys. So we had a trail cam out, but we had it where the coyote was not, or I believe we had it out. We usually put it up top, which we call the railroad track, which is our wooded area. Well, obviously, that's not the area that happened. It happened towards the garden. And so that's where my mother-in-law usually dumps scraps. She either dumps them in the garden or she dumps them in the chicken yard. That way Koa can get them or the chickens can get them. So fast forward the next day, and we decide, we're going to put the trail cam over where it happened. We're going to put it over by the garden, and just see what we can find. See if anything comes up. Well, fast forward the next day after that day, and we check the trail cam. Unfortunately, Andy put it in my camera, my DSLR camera, and nothing came up. It didn't show anything. It didn't even show that there was anything on the images. Well, he had the afterthought to go ahead and hook it up to the computer. Well, when we hooked it up to the computer, guess what we found, guys? A big old coyote. A big one. I mean, a big one. It was way bigger than her. And if she would have been the size she was and weighed less, because she's about 30 pounds, she's kind of like, if you've ever seen a basset hound, like, she's a mixed dog, so we have no clue what she is, but I believe she's got basset hound in her, or something like that. And you know how, like, basset hounds are real heavy. And so she is heavy. She's about 20 or 30 pounds. She's probably overweight, but she's fixed. And so she's just, fixed dogs are usually just a little overweight, or, whatever. So anyways, if she wasn't the weight she was, I believe that he would have been able, that coyote, girl or boy, I'm going to guess a boy, because it was so large. And I'm going for a long stretch here. I don't know when coyotes have babies, but it didn't have any teats hanging, so I don't know, if it was male or female. I'm going to guess male, though. And we do know that coyotes are in the area because we've heard them screaming on multiple occasions. One specific occasion where it sounded like they were in our neighbor's yard. Well, it turns out they probably were in our neighbor's yard, because the coyote was coming from that area. And so we've had the camera set out, and so we know that, she got in a fight with the coyote, and then we know that the coyote came back the next day. We haven't been able to find anything else on the camera besides the Great Pyrenees, that lives up the road, and it looked like he was smelling the ground, and maybe on the trail of something. We don't know exactly what it was. It could have been the coyote. It could have been the rabbit that we caught on the camera the next couple days later. But yeah, we had a coyote scare. It's awful close to where my chickens were at. Although we do have electric running around Andy's chicken yard, we do have electric running around our chicken yard, and we do have not a Great Pyrenees, we do have a livestock guardian dog in there, and so I'm not too worried. Fisher cats. I'm not sure I know what you're talking about. What is a Fisher cat? I guess we don't, because I don't know what you're talking about. Kind of let me know what it is, and I'll be able to maybe let you know a little bit better. But now we're just kind of concerned, just having one in the area. Although I believe that Koa will be able to manage the situation if a coyote was to get in there. Definitely Queenie is going to stand her ground. She's going to stand up for the farm. And to be a little house dog, she is fierce, like Wolverines. Or we do have weasels. Yes, we do have weasels. Now we have not seen any. We have not seen any weasels, but I do know, especially where we have baby chicks, that weasels are pretty bad about getting baby chicks. And so I don't know how thick they are in our area, but there is other parts of our region or our area that does have problems with weasels. So yes, we do have weasels, but on our particular farm, I haven't seen any, but that doesn't mean they're not there either. One of our main predators, two of our main predators throughout the year have been raccoons and possums. Raccoons and possums have gotten a lot of chickens, along with foxes. We did have one particular time where a fox came in and just slaughtered my yard and left me with very few chickens. They actually got one of my very favorite chickens, one of our family favorite chickens, which was unfortunate because it had come from a friend that passed away. And so that was a very sad day. And we knew it was a fox because we had found hair, because it came in the middle of the day, because the chickens were still warm when we found them. And I believe what happened was the fox came in, it had dug like a gap that big. It squeezed through a gap that big underneath our fence. It was tiny. It had left fur on the fence and squeezed through that big. It left the carcasses. It ate the breast out of the chickens. And I can't remember how many it unalived, but it unalived quite a few and just left me a bunch of carcasses to clean up, which, that's fun. That was before we had a livestock guardian dog, though. Since we've had a livestock guardian dog, our biggest predators have been hawks getting baby chicks, along with stray cats getting baby chicks. We had the unfortunate, situation that we live out in the country, and because we live out in the country, people just tend to drop animals and leave them. And we unfortunately had a neighbor in our area that had cats and moved and left their cats. And their cats are continuing to reproduce, and they are terrorizing everybody in the area. And so our neighbors across the road asked us the other day if we had cats. We said, no, we don't have any cats. And they said, well, I've got cats living underneath my house. And, we're scared to close it up because, they might die under there and things like that. So cats are a big issue in our area, and hawks. Cats wouldn't be an issue if people would, take care of their animals. But it is what it is. And when you live out in the country, there's really nothing that can be done in a situation like that. You just got to take it, as it comes. Hawks, are another thing as well. They just swoop down, get the babies, and things like that. As far as I know, we have not lost any large chickens to hawks or anything like that. We do have eagles in the area, but they usually just fly over. They're usually pretty high, and they don't seem to be very interested in what we have on the farm. So that's fantastic. I hear something screaming in the night, and everything leads me to fox or fisher cats. I see fox all the time, but read reports of fisher cats coming to many parts of Ohio. Yeah. Well, we live in Kentucky. We live in the eastern part of Kentucky, and I know that weasels are bad. Foxes, obviously. We've seen foxes, like we've visually seen foxes. And so I know they're in the area. Something ripped our chicken wire apart like the Incredible Hulk and killed 5 or 6 hens. Well, here's the thing. Depending on if it ripped it, did it rip it or chew it? Did it rip it with its teeth or rip it with its hands? Because coons and possums use their hands. They have thumbs. And so they can use their hands. We've even had possums, or is it coons? Coons try to pull, we use, let me see, what is that called? Chain link fence on our chicken coop is chain link fence. We free range our chickens, and so they can get in and out all day long. They can even get out of the top. So if something's going to get them, there's not really any way to keep them out because we want our chickens out free ranging. The only time they use the coop is for nighttime. But we've had, when we used to have a top and did not free range our chickens, we had a raccoon that was pulling our chickens through the wire and pulling their head off. And they will do that. They will decapitate them. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that word. I'm not. They will pull through. They will, grab a hold of them. They will lure. What will happen is they will stir up the chickens. And then there will be a dumb chicken. Then we'll get close enough to the fence. And as soon as it gets close enough to the fence, it'll just snatch it. And they can pull them through. I mean, they can, pull like their heads and insides out. I mean, you know how chickens are. You can just pull that out. And so they will pull that out. And they will eat your chickens. And so we have had that happened. We have had, we've had all kinds, guys. We've had all kinds of stuff. But that was back before we had a livestock guardian dog. Since we have had a livestock guardian dog, we have not had any of those issues. On top of the fact that we electrify our fence. For our more pricey birds, for our exotic birds, they have 6 strands of electric barbed wire fencing along with a livestock guardian dog in there. And so we haven't had any problems. I did trap and dispose of 7 raccoons the week after. Yeah. I would say that was probably your problem. Raccoons, they have thumbs. And they just use their hands like we would use hands. So if you can pull it apart, a raccoon can pull it apart. And they will pull your chickens apart. And there's different animals that will eat different parts of your birds. I'm trying to think. Weasels, there's certain parts of the body that they will eat more than other parts. Like foxes will eat the breast of your chicken. Owls will eat the breast of your chicken. I think even hawks, like other birds, will eat the breast of your chicken. I'm trying to think, but like I said, like raccoons, if you find one with just the head gone, it's typically a raccoon because they're just going to pull it through. I believe possums will do the same thing, but just depending, this is getting probably pretty gruesome, but that's just how it is. I mean, if you're going to own livestock, you might as well just, figure it out soon. Where we have rabbits, dogs can be a big predator issue, and raccoons, and I have seen people's cages. Actually, somebody had caught a neighbor's dog that got a hold of their rabbits, and how they did it was they got the bottom wire, and they got their teeth around it, and they pulled that wire down. Pulled the wire down, and then they pull it down enough, and then of course the rabbit's going to fall down, and that's how they got people's rabbits. And raccoons will do the same thing. They'll get the bottom of the cage or the wire and rip it apart depending on how strong the wire is. They can rip it apart pretty easy depending on what kind of wire you use. Now, if you're raising rabbits, and here's another thing that has been a predator problem for us that you all probably wouldn't think of: rats. Rats has been a predator problem for us. And they have eaten eggs, they have eaten baby chicks, and they have also killed rabbits. They have killed, or unalived, I don't think I can say that word, unalived rabbits by eating their feet off of them. And that's insane. But we have had 2 babies pass away, from their feet being chewed off, obviously, because, they can't walk to mom to nurse. And so their feet were being chewed off by rats. We just had that situation happen to 2 rabbits. I talked to somebody that said it's rats getting in there and getting your baby rabbits. And so we went ahead and took some hardware cloth and covered up. It was like gaps this big. That's it. That they were getting in and getting hold of the babies. And so you do have to watch that. If you do raise rabbits, rats are a big issue, a big predator for baby rabbits. One that you wouldn't think about, like if you've got everything predatorized, if you've got electric fence and you got a livestock guardian dog and you got this and you got that, but you have rats, you know, you wouldn't think about it, but they are. And we have had just like baby chicks disappear. And so we do, you know, like try to keep the rats down, obviously. But when you have livestock, you know, it can be hard to do, especially if you're trying to do it more naturally. We did have a barn cat, but unfortunately he passed away. And that's around the time that the rats got bad. And so we had to use other measures to get rid of the rats, because you know we were having issues like baby chicks disappear and baby rabbits not having feet. So that's, you know, fun. And where we have, so like the goats wasn't as much of a problem where it comes to the livestock, but it's the rabbit or the chickens that are a large problem, because typically you're going to feed your chickens on the ground or low to the ground. And rats get low to the ground. They also get high as well. They'll climb on everything. They can climb up most things. But if you have chickens, you're probably going to have rats at some point in time. And where we live in a swampy area, we get those large, like what I call a swamp rat, which is like, you know, the size of a dinner plate. I'm terrified of rats. I'm terrified of mice. I'm scared of a lot of things, but when it comes to animals, I'm typically not scared of the things that you would think, you know, like somebody would be. A lot of people don't like snakes. A lot of people don't like spiders. Spiders don't bother me. I can be in the same room with a snake. It doesn't, you know, as long as I know where it's at, I'm fine. Even the poisonous ones, or the venomous ones, if I know where it's at, I'm fine. I can pick up a spider and take it outside. That doesn't bother me. I have no problem, you know, like moving insects. Insects are not a big deal to me. Mice, I will run. I will run for the hills if I see a mouse or a rat. I cannot do mice or rat. I also cannot do frogs. I don't like frogs either. They scare me and they gross me out. But here's the reason why. This is the story here. My cousin, bless his heart, they live in Missouri, and we lived in Missouri for a time. And when we moved to Kentucky, we used to visit Missouri in the summertime. Well, we had come to my grandmother's house, and my cousin Corey was there, and they had those tree frogs all over the place in the area. And if you know anything about tree frogs, they stick. They got like the little grippies on their feet, and they stick. Well, he was like, oh, look at my frog. And he had it like this. And guess where that frog went? It jumped on my eyeball and stuck to my eyeball. And after that, that was it. I didn't do frogs no more. Ooh, I don't like frog legs. I've never tried a turkey egg. That would be fun. I'd say they're rich. I love a good rich egg, though. There's people I know that say that, a lot of people I know say that farm eggs are too rich for them. They are not too rich for me. A store-bought egg to me has zero taste. You might as well be drinking water for breakfast. You might as well just throw water in the frying pan, because that egg has not got no taste to it. But I love a good farm egg. A farm egg doesn't need anything extra. It doesn't need anything added to it. You could go without salt and pepper. I do salt and pepper because I do salt and pepper on everything. But a farm egg does not need anything. A store-bought egg needs all kinds of stuff because it ain't got no taste. I'm not big on frog legs. Here's the thing. I'm very picky when it comes to textures of meat in my mouth. And to me, frog legs are mushy. The meat is mushy and stringy. Stringy is a no bueno for me. If a meat is stringy, I cannot do it. And so I'm very picky about fish. I do not like certain fish being mushy. I do not eat shrimp. I do not eat to me, shrimp is like biting on a finger. You might as well be eating a finger. I can't do it. It reminds me when you bite down of like biting a finger. I can't do it. I can't do it, guys. I can't do shrimp. I can't. A mix of fish and chicken. It tastes like chicken. It's not the frog legs. It's not the taste. It's the texture. It's the texture. And a lot of meat that are in water that I found, a lot of the meats that I don't like come out of water. And it's a texture thing. And, you know, like, it's not taste. I like the taste of shrimp. I like the taste of turtle. I like the taste of frog. I just don't like the texture. And I'm weird like that. I'm just weird about different textures of meat. I don't know why I'm like that, but I am. Like, just certain textures in my mouth when it comes to food, I can't do it. I can't do it, guys. I can't do it. But I know some people that you know, really, really like it. My husband likes frog legs. I've never made them for him, obviously, because I don't eat it. Here's another thing y'all probably going to gasp. I've talked about it on the lives before. I don't like cornbread. I don't like cornbread because it's gritty. It's the texture. The taste isn't bad. It's the texture. And there's just certain things that I just can't eat because of the texture. Well, I guess I could eat them if I was starving, but they're not my favorite. And they're definitely, I'd have to like pinch my nose, close my eyes, and somebody'd have to shove it in order for me to like choose to eat it. And it probably wouldn't even go down. Like, I guess if I was starving and somebody said all we have to eat is shrimp, I would have to probably cut it up in little tiny pieces. Maybe like puree it. to eat it, because it's just one of those things. It's just one of those things. I'm not somebody, though, I've talked about it on lives before. I'm somebody that is willing to try something one time. I like to say that I'm willing to try anything. I hope that I'm willing to try anything. I feel like I'm willing to try anything. I'm willing to try most things one time to see if I like it. And so I'm not real picky when it comes to that. It's just, you know, like I'll tell you if I don't like it. And so, you know, I'm going to be honest about it. I'll try it. But if you ask me if I like it or not, I'm going to tell you whether I like it or not. I remember when I was a teenager, my friend's family, like when they would have a special occasion in the summertime, or they'll have like, you know, like a special day, and they call it like like a crab bowl, and they'd have crab meat, shrimp. They'd, you know, cut the sausage up, they'd boil the corn and do all that, and then they'd pour it on newspapers. I'm sorry, excuse me. They poured on newspapers on their kitchen table, and everybody eat out of it. And the only thing that I would eat was the sausage and the corn, because I couldn't do the texture of the rest of it. But it was good. The corn and the sausage was, but the rest of it, I just couldn't do, guys. Oh. Well, guys, we've been on here about 54 minutes. Frank, have you ever been on our lives before? I don't know if I recognize your name for the lives. A lot of people are on here quite a bit. Eric, he's probably still on here. Maybe. I don't know. He usually pops on, and Randy usually pops on. Y'all got anything to say? But I don't recognize your name, which I might have forgot about you. Forgive me, Frank, if I forgot about you. But I appreciate everybody that's hopped on. It's been wonderful. Who all's been on here? I know Eric, Randy, Harmon Homestead, and you, Frank. You've held on with me, buddy. But I appreciate everybody being on here. You know, I wanted to talk to you all, while you all are on here, and if you watch my lives frequently. I told you all that we were going to be having lives Wednesdays and Sundays. Guys, it has changed. This last couple of weeks, it's been really, really super busy. Many times we used to live in Jeffersonville for a while. I'm sorry, Frank. I completely forgot. Forgive me, please. Yeah, we've talked about that before. I will not be able to do lives on Wednesday nights anymore. And I'm going to try to do lives on Sunday nights, but we will just have to see. But Wednesdays are out from here on out. And the reason why is because we are starting back our church on Wednesday night. We usually cut our Wednesday nights out on in the wintertime for our church, so we just have our Sunday night, or our Saturday night, I'm sorry. We have church on Saturday night, and we in the summer, in the springtime, and the fall, we have it on Wednesday night. But in the winter, once it starts getting cold, we don't have church on Wednesday night anymore until the following spring. And so anyways, we're in spring, we're going to have Wednesday night church again, and so I will not be able to do with Wednesday night lives. Do you all want me to try to figure out how to do a live twice a week? Or are you all just okay with doing one live? I want your all's opinion about it. Whoever is on here, I can try. We are going to be getting into the busier season. I can try to do, another live throughout the week. Like I said, we're going to try to do Sunday night. Still keep our Sunday night. But what other day throughout the week would work best for you all? This is Tuesday. Does Tuesday work better for you all than Wednesday? Or what do you all think? I want your all's opinion because it's you guys that pop in. Okay, you said whatever you prefer. It's you all that are here and you all that are popping in. I'm still going to try to keep it at the 8 o'clock, around 8 o'clock. I was a little bit late today because I decided last minute that I was going to go ahead and hop on the live. But, okay. I think since today is Tuesday, and I'm going to be doing, let me see, if I did it, if I do a live Sunday, this is Tuesday, instead of doing it Wednesday, we could do Tuesday or Thursday. Tuesday or Thursday. Okay. Randy and Frank said anytime. So we'll just ride with it. We'll just see if we can get it on Tuesday, or we'll just see if we can get it on Thursday. Kind of what works better if nobody else really has a day that they prefer. Oh, I am sorry, guys. Sorry. A day that they prefer. I wanted to show you all what I made today. I did make a video. Hold on, give me just a second. Oh. Have y'all ever had these before? Peanut butter oatmeal cookies. Today is Andy's birthday. And this is what he wanted.
You can't mind peanut butter oatmeal cookies.
And so he got peanut butter oatmeal cookies. It's been years since we've made them. I always call it our family recipe because he wrote that recipe down way early on in our marriage, probably our first year that we were married. He wrote that recipe down. So it's our family recipe of the oatmeal no-bake, peanut butter oatmeal no-bake cookies. Or the peanut butter chocolate oatmeal no-bake cookies. But that's what he wanted for his birthday. And so that's what he got. And so I made those today. Yeah, those are really, really good. Well, let me see. I made 13. There's 6 left. We ate over half of them. Andy ate like 4. I had 1. I think Lakin had 2. Yeah, we can put them away. And he's always like, when he eats them, he's like, these are the cookies that you eat until you get sick. I can't stop eating them. And he can't. They're his favorite. They're his favorite cookie. I usually make them around Christmas time. I know at least in our area that's real common. What? Lakin, will you get this dog? It's real common to make them around Christmas time. I don't know why he's barking like that. He does this every lap. Well, guys, I guess I'm going to hop off here. I just wanted to ask you all before I got off, what kind of day worked best for you. I guess we're going to try Tuesday or Thursday, somewhere in there. It wouldn't make sense to have one Sunday night and then turn around and have Sunday morning. So we'll just have to see. I haven't been posting as many long videos. I haven't been posting as many shorts. I haven't been posting very much at all. I think I got, hey Ark, we're getting ready to head off. I think I got maybe 2 or 3 shorts posted last week. 2 or 3 shorts posted last week. 1 long video and 1 live. That's all I got. And I barely squeezed that out. It was just very busy. It was a very busy week. And I didn't want everybody, I did that live that day. I didn't want everybody to think that I'd just give up, because I hadn't. But we have just been busy. We have been really busy. And it's just, it is what it is. But I don't want you all to think that I'm not doing YouTube or anything like that. And, if you all have noticed that I haven't posted any videos, it's just purely because we've been busy. So that's just what's happened. Well, guys, I love y'all with the love of the Lord, and I appreciate everybody. Any music tonight, Art? I appreciate. He asked if there's any music, Ark. I'll let you answer his question before I get off. I appreciate everybody watching. I appreciate all you all hanging out with me. I appreciate the support, guys. I really, truly do appreciate the support you all give me. It's amazing. It's amazing how far this channel has come with just, a short year and a couple months. How far this channel has come, and it's been you guys. It's been stop, Oliver. It's been the support you all have given us. And it's amazing. It's amazing that you all come on these lives and just look at my face. Because I'm not anything special to look at, and I don't say that because I want you to tell me I am. I'm just not. And it amazes me that you all come on here and just, to hang out with me. So I appreciate it. I love you guys with the love of the Lord. I hope you all will come back on the next one. We will have to see when the next one is. It might be just kind of up in the air this week. We will see if we can get on Sunday night. If we can, it should be around 8 o'clock. I usually try to do those lives around 8 o'clock. But I appreciate y'all watching. Appreciate y'all hanging out. And hopefully we can see you on the next one.
Bye.
See you later, alligators.
Love y'all.